everybody. Thanks for joining in for today's webinar. We are extremely pleased to have you join in, and we hope that the webinar today will add value to your digital marketing efforts. So, without ado, I'll get started and talk about the research that we've done in this area, and the research that reveals certain key pointers and certain data points which make it very clear that the role of marketing automation within insurance and financial services in particular is something that's going to grow over time. So at the moment, what you see is that marketing automation platforms have not really found as much penetration or growth within insurance and financial services. And while there are a variety of reasons for that, but what it tells us is that there is greenfield opportunity for marketers in these verticals to really look at the power of marketing automation and how it can truly help them in their digital marketing effort. So traditionally, marketing automation has seen great success in other verticals like IT, business services, and manufacturing, but it's still growing, in the insurance and financial services industries. However, what really is interesting is that in the last few months, and especially since the middle of 2013 till now, we've seen, in our personal experience at eDynamic, we've seen a number of customers that we work with who are now using marketing automation, and they are spread across different types of insurance companies, whether it's general insurance, life, property and casualty. Different types of insurers have adopted marketing automation, and a number of financial services customers whose models are quite similar in terms of sales and distribution to insurance have also opted to go with marketing automation. So why does marketing automation not find as much pride of place in these verticals as it can do in other verticals? So, and like I said, there's a variety of reasons behind that, but some of the key reasons are what you see on screen. Unique, channels for selling and distribution. Often there are multiple layers of brokers and agents and distributors involved in selling of insurance products or financial services products. The buyer segment is pretty large, so there are different kinds of buyers with different types of products and solutions, and therefore there is no one-size-fits-all scenario in these industries. There's a wide range of products also on offer, and that is often a reason why marketers tend to look at any kind of automation with some amount of skepticism. And finally, probably the elephant in the room is compliance. Because with compliance, what happens is that a lot of great marketing ideas can be shot down if there is regulation and if there is strict compliance to be adhered to. So so these are some key reasons why marketing automation has not really taken off in these industries around insurance and financial services as compared to others. But like I said, there are many exceptions. And people are coming forward and adopting these, adopting marketing automation with a view to meeting compliance regulations, but also ensuring that they have the best tools and technology to be able to address the growing needs of prospects and customers. If you look at marketing automation, typically a high-level model, the way it looks in today's day and age is what you see right now. The marketing automation platform sits front and center in terms of your marketing tool set. And while there will be a number of other systems that you may be using or may be considering to use, the fact is that marketing automation will play a big role in terms of automating and operationalizing your marketing efforts. So it can tie in with your CRM, which could be an existing system. It can tie in with any other lead ecosystem that you have currently. So the way you're generating leads at the moment whether it is through, search or social or through video marketing or whatever it is, that can tie in seamlessly with what you want to do on marketing automation. A third component is any kind of cloud apps that you may have, and these could be related to business process, these could be related to sales or marketing enablement as well. And the other stakeholder in this entire picture is your sales team. Now, it could be in-house sales, it could be agents, brokers, or distribution partners, whoever it could be, but they play an important role, or they're an important stakeholder in the overall marketing automation scheme of things. The platform in itself takes care of 2 or 3 primary areas. One of them is segmentation of customers or prospects. The other is content management. And the third is analytics and reporting, which straddles the entire platform. So what you do is basically you look at your customers, you recognize your customers, and then you figure out the content that you need to market, that you need to really take to those customers. And the automation platform, what it basically does is brings together these 2 aspects and helps you in creating campaigns, running those campaigns, generating leads, and either scoring them, nurturing them, or transitioning them over to sales. So it's a very uncomplicated view of what a platform really does for you. And at every stage of of using this platform, analytics plays a big part, and you get to know exactly what is happening right through the life cycle of a customer's buying process. Now, while there are several benefits of using marketing automation, and we can go on and on about that, and probably need another webinar just to cover the benefits. But the key benefits are some that we've captured for today's audience, and we'll go through each of these real quickly to give you an idea of what really this kind of a platform or automation can bring to you. The first and the most obvious benefit is shortening of the lead cycle. With the insurers who are dealing in more complex products, which have longer sales cycles, could be B2B or even B2C, could be more premium products which take time to sell, and people or your audience needs more time to consider, evaluate, buy, and then move on. So shortening of lead cycle usually is a direct benefit, because with automation, what you do is you can be much more faster in terms of time to market. You can be more consistent with your messaging, and you can also be more relevant with your messaging. And the last point about being relevant is probably the most important, because if your audience is getting what they really want from you or what they really seek from you at different points in their buying cycle, then there is a tendency for them to react more positively to you, and that has a direct impact on shortening of lead cycles. Now, there are a number of data points around that, and the key thing here is that the companies that are investing in marketing automation solutions have seen as much as 70% faster sales times, and 54% improvement in quota achievement. So this is a big statistic, which tells you why people really opt for marketing automation, because at the end of the day, this has a direct impact on revenue. The other is increased lead volume. So, with anything related to marketing, at the end of the day, you're accountable for leads, and a lot of marketers are now accountable for revenue. And you can't have an impact on revenue unless you have, very, very high velocity of incoming leads. And that can only happen when you really are up to speed with what your buyers are intending to see from you. Right, so you have competition, you have a marketplace where there are several other players, and you have their agents and brokers, clamoring for audience's attention. So how do you separate yourself? You can separate yourself through your messaging, but you can also separate yourself with your speed of execution and operations. If you execute well and on time and repeatedly over a few months and a few years, then invariably you'll see a higher lead volume in terms of audience reception to your messaging. Again, direct impact on your sales cycle and pipeline, and marketing automation basically, and this is a generic industry figure, but even a 45% more pipeline than those who don't use marketing automation indicates that this does have a big bearing on why people choose an automation platform. Third is engagement with brokers and advisors, and this is a very key aspect of the business models with financial services companies and insurance companies, which basically have a distribution model mostly for all kinds of products. So engagement with brokers and advisors is probably the most important benefit that marketing automation can bring to you. And while we have a customized offering around this, which we can talk about in some other forum, but enabling brokers and advisors through marketing automation really has a huge bearing on how they sell to your customers. So there are a couple of things that I want to talk about here. One is that if you're selling directly through in-house teams or call centers or captive units, then a lot of things are in your control. You can have automation and you can ensure that automation is really leveraged properly by an in-house team. But if you have a large distribution network consisting of small, mid-sized to large brokers or agents or financial advisors, then it's difficult to have the same amount of control over external entities. And while you'll have agreements and you'll have paradigms in terms of measuring performance, etc., the fact lies that with external teams you can only have as much control. So it's really something that you really can't control beyond a point. So in such an instance, if you use automation, then it has a big impact in terms of how the brokers and advisors can sell, because they are then they are going to be following the process and they're going to be using the infrastructure that you provide to them, and therefore the chances of them not complying with your sales expectations are far low as compared to if they were trying to sell things manually or market things manually. So again, it's more like comparing a manual process versus something which is automated, or at least automated to a large extent, because that's the benefit of using marketing infrastructure or automation. The brokers are basically, they're told that this is how you're going to market and this is how you're going to sell, and we are going to enable you in every which way. So whether it's through thought leadership, through marketing material, through training, through any kinds of marketing or sales enablement that brokers and advisors expect, everything is automated, and therefore the chances of success are much higher as opposed to manual processes. So the offering that we at eDynamic have around agent engagement and empowerment, as you can see, it covers basically the entire life cycle of how insurance and financial services companies work with agents and brokers and financial advisors. It starts with getting the right agents on board, getting the right brokers on board, partnering with them, educating them, empowering them, and then enabling them to sell and market effectively on your behalf. So it's a 365-degree offering which really enables you to drive more revenue effectiveness through your channels, whether it's brokers, agents, or financial advisors. And across this offering, marketing automation plays a huge role. In every point, it plays a big role, whether it's acquiring agents, educating them. All of these programs that you see here, like surveys and webinars and newsletters and education campaigns, everything can be done via marketing automation. So we are not just saying that you are reaching out effectively to your end customers. We are also saying that you're reaching out effectively to your agents also. So basically, you're trying to maximize your chances of revenue, whether it's through agents or to reach out to direct customers. Segmentation and targeting is the other big value that an automation platform can really bring to you. There's a lot of talk going around about one-to-one marketing, about the fact that people need to really, your audience needs to have one-on-one conversation with you, an effective personalized conversation with you in order to really make a decision on you. And here is where the automation platform really helps you. First of all, it helps you segment the right kind of customers, prospects, and any data that you want to reach out to. And that is done in a way which is far more efficient as opposed to manual processes or using just your CRM. By using marketing automation, you can figure out what messages should go to which segments. And that in itself is a big, big victory in terms of segmentation. And the other is, once you've segmented, you can target different segments with very focused messaging, which drives more effectiveness. The right kind of people get the right kind of messaging, and they get it consistently over a period of time. So, so what you see here is that most top-performing marketers say that to target various segments, what you need is that capability within marketing automation. Without that, it's going to be a process which may be successful, but there are more chances of failure because it's going to be a combination of manual effort along with using just single systems like the CRM or probably analytics. In this case, we are not just curating the data, we are not just segmenting the data, but we are also targeting messaging to all those segments through an automation platform. Buyer insight is the other huge benefit that that this kind of a platform can bring to you, because with any marketing automation platform, you get an inherent capability of better analytics. And I'll explain this a bit, detail. Any good marketing automation platform will help you to track, the results of your messages, or will be able to track, how your audience is reacting to your messages. So whether it's email, your website, whether it's a webinar, whether it's an event, or any other kind of campaign, your marketing automation platform will provide you with proof of how your audience or your segments are reacting to your messages. And that proof can be used, those analytics can be used for improving upon your campaigns in the future. So, so this is a big, big benefit because it gives you invaluable insight into how your audience is really receiving or responding to the messages that you're sending them. The final benefit, if you were to say, in terms of large benefits, is to reduce inefficient spend. Now, when we have large marketing teams, when we have, various digital marketing programs going on, there is a tendency for, simple manual errors to creep in. And those errors can't be helped, even if you have a really good A team working on your marketing initiatives. More often than not, there will be some errors, and there will be some creeps in terms of efficiency, in terms of productivity, in terms of how costs can escalate. So if a simple webinar program takes, let's say, 100 rupees to execute, right, then you can execute the same marketing program or a webinar in just 30 rupees using a marketing automation platform. So there is no comparison because we're talking about something which is automated and driven by software, whereas here you have a large team doing the same thing. So while some things cannot be done by automation, for instance, your automation platform cannot create the best messaging, it cannot be creative, it cannot add strategy. But what it can do is that once you've done your strategy and your creative pitches and your messaging and your content, it can then distribute that content as effectively as as your manual team will never be able to distribute. So it reduces marketing overheads, it cuts out time to execute, and it increases productivity by a factor of as much as 7 to 8. And the statistics that you see here are again generic industry statistics, depending on how mature your usage of marketing automation is. But we have examples of customers who come to us and said that they have basically reduced their marketing spend by 50% within 1 year of using marketing automation. So that brings us to what you should look for in an automation solution, and really what is it that you should consider when, even if you were to go down this path. So let's talk about a few key things here. Before we look at a marketing automation solution, we need to ask a pertinent question, and that is generating leads through digital, is that enough for you? Or do you really care for getting those leads into a revenue pipeline? or into a revenue engine? Do you want your marketing to play a revenue role in the company, or are you happy with generating X number of leads per month and satisfying your bosses, satisfying the CEO that, look, marketing is doing its job, here are X number of leads that we were tasked with, and we have met that number, and that's all there is. So increasingly, those kinds of conversations are becoming rare because CEOs and CFOs are becoming more involved in the kind of budgets marketers are spending, and they have a big, they have a big say in, what revenue is marketing capable of bringing. So if that is a conversation now, then it's important to look at, why marketers are now, 60% of marketers are now preferring quality of leads over quantity. And every 10% increase in lead quality can be equivalent to a 40% increase in sales. And these numbers have really changed in the past few years. Well, a few years back, when people were really exploring various avenues in digital marketing, then you would have seen a very different set of numbers here. But now it's the quality that really matters and not the quantity. So therefore, for every 10 leads, that good quality leads that you're generating, you have a chance of closing 2 to 3 of those. So whether it's B2C or B2B. But the key thing here is the quality. So how do you achieve quality? You can only achieve quality of leads or higher conversions of leads when you are able to not just track your leads, but also be able to score your leads and see if they are in your best zone as far as buying is concerned. So for every marketer, there is a buying zone. There is a buying zone where their target audience or their prospects have the most chances of buying a product, right? And that is typically the high performance buying zone. If you can, as a marketer, if you can get as many leads into the buying zone, then you've done your job. Because then you know that a lot of those leads will get converted into actual customers. But that is only possible if you do consistently good lead scoring, segmentation of your leads, and then you give yourself a better chance of closing those leads and therefore contributing to revenue. Now, those who are not scoring or nurturing their leads have a loss because there are statistics and there are numbers out there, data points, which clearly tell you that the customers or organizations who are using marketing automation to score and nurture leads can get a 45% lift in lead generation. Again, this is across industries, but even within insurance and financial services, I'm pretty sure, given our experience, that they can see anywhere between a 30 to 50% increase in revenue contribution or lead gen or higher quality of leads if they use scoring and nurturing through an automation platform. Typically, a lot of insurance and financial services have common pain points, common issues, common problems, and common challenges. And some of those are laid out here, but these would be pretty familiar to a lot of marketers in these verticals. But the key thing here is that when you're dealing with brokers, agencies, they might have their individual small websites through which they're selling your products. You might be providing some templates and content, etc., to them to help them sell. But as many as 50 to 70% of the agents or advisors may not be using CRM. And that is a damning statistic. I'll tell you why at a later point in today's webinar. But the other pain point is that the analytics that a lot of companies in these verticals are using and their agents, the kind of analytics they are using, are not really giving them the kind of value that analytics tools normally or typically provide. The other aspect is that leads are being acquired, so you can acquire email lists, you can acquire distribution lists, and then run search, social, and display campaigns on those lists. This is a very common method of acquiring leads in these two industries. The problem here is that all the incoming leads that are coming in and forming your database, in a lot of companies there is no deduplication of lead data. So you're getting leads from various sources, but there is no data rationalization, unification, and deduplication in place. So therefore, the actual number of leads that is going into your pipeline is lower than anticipated, and generally the quality is not as good as it should be. And the final situation here, and the pain point, is that there is no infrastructure or automation infrastructure that is in place for central execution and tracking of campaigns. So things are very piecemeal, in silos. Everything is not built on a central platform, and that's where a lot of problems are arising for marketers in these verticals. So what can you do? How can you improve upon this situation? Well, there are several things that can be done, but I think some of the key things that you should look at are the ones that you mentioned, mentioned on this slide, and those include a need to explore and evaluate your means of lead generation, how you are generating leads, and how you're passing them on to your agents or brokers or advisors. The other is, are you able to analyze better, what's happening on your website, on your emails, on your microsites, etc. Who's downloading what, who's spending where, who's spending time where, and not standard Google Analytics, but advanced analytics, which really tells you how people are engaging or not engaging with your content. The third is, are you passing on advanced insight to your agents and advisors? So, for instance, if a particular product is getting more attention on your website or on your microsite or on your email campaigns, are you passing on this insights to the agents who are selling this product? And if you're not, then you're doing them a disservice because they don't know that this product is getting more popular in the end audience. If they do know that, they'll be able to sell it more effectively. Then there is data enrichment. Like I mentioned, there are several data providers who have the ability and the tools to enrich your data for you before passing it on. So if you're passing on leads to your agents and advisors, then before you route them to your channels, it's a good practice to actually have that data looked at, enriched, and improved upon, so that your agents have good data to market or sell to. Thought leadership is the other one where, and this is something which is ongoing, the quality of your content and the way you position that content, both are equally important. So creation and generation of originally good content is very important as far as marketers are concerned. And then there is CRM. Like I mentioned, with CRM, what happens is that you get all your data in one place, whether it's prospects, customers, accounts, depending on whether you're B2C, B2B. But the important thing is that if you are working with 100 brokers or 100 advisors, there might be 20 or 30 of those advisors who might be doing most business with you or might be selling more as far as you're concerned, and they are the star performers. So it probably pays to have them also sharing the same CRM, because that will give you the ability to track their performance better. And using one single system, you at least have an idea of how your top brokers are performing in terms of prospects and customers, and how they are engaging with your customers. So it's a big factor in terms of working jointly with your channel, which a lot of insurance companies and financial services companies are not really exploring. What a marketing automation platform will do for you is it can help you right across your marketing program. So whether it is whether it is objectives in terms of acquisition, you want to do agent recruitment, you want to increase your distribution channel revenue, basically whatever your objective is, your marketing automation platform can help meet that objective through effective delivery. Then strategy, if you want to get the best out of your channel partners or enable them better, again, automation has a role there. Then think about programs. So every strategy will have some programs and campaigns, etc. And each one should have a logical outcome, whether you want to generate leads, you want to create brand awareness, you want to generate hype around a new product, or if there is a new event that you want to promote. There could be any number of programs. For each of these, your automation platform can help you. It can help you meet your objectives behind each and every different kind of program. So a common fallacy in the industry, and a lot of marketers, is that when they think about marketing automation, they think about emails. That's not the case. Don't think only about emails. The platform will, of course, deliver emails, but emails are all tied to marketing and revenue objectives. And the platform does much more than that. It can do events for you. It can do webinars for you. It has integrations with direct mail, so you can run direct mails through the platform via a third-party integration. You can use video for more effective marketing. So there's a variety of things that a marketing automation platform can do for you. It's not just email automation, it's marketing automation. So the leading platforms out there in the market include the likes of Oracle, Eloqua, Pardot, which used to be a very powerful tool, which was hence merged into ExactTarget, which is a Salesforce product. Neolane, which used to be a very popular marketing automation platform, which is now with Adobe, and Marketo. So, there are some other players as well in the market, but if you were to name 4 of the very best, the 4 who are getting a lot of traction in the insurance and financial services industries. So that was about marketing automation, but the point is, even if you were to go down that path, if you were to say that, look, I want to budget for a marketing automation platform and I want to use one because I see the value. The key thing here is how do you make it work? And that's where the skills and the effort of a marketer really comes in. So the journey to marketing automation success cannot be achieved by the platform alone. It needs a variety of other things that you need to look at for you to be successful and make the most of your investment in an automation platform. If you were to look at the 6 or 7 key things that will guarantee you success, one is that you should have a roadmap in terms of how you want to buy and use the platform. Secondly, you need to understand your buyer. What are their preferences? What do they like? What do they not like? Which devices are they using? How are they buying from you? What is their journey like? Which channels are they visiting? A variety of information. What is the demographics behind them? Which regions are contributing more to your buyers or buying base? There's so many things about that. Third, you need to create a lead management architecture. So unless a lot of companies do have this in place, but with an automation platform, this architecture takes a different dimension altogether. So with automation, there is the need to create a fresh lead management architecture. How? You will manage all the demand and the leads that are going to come in. Then there should be a content strategy. Content is at the base and foundation of every marketing effort, and it's no different with automation as well. The content strategy should be firmly in tune with your buying journey and understanding of your buyers. Managing compliance is an important factor, especially within your industries, because, like I said earlier, compliance and regulation do play a big role in how marketers have to or are needed to market in whether it's in insurance or in financial services. Reporting and analytics have a big impact on anything, whether it's performance of the marketing team, how your platform is doing its job, and finally, how is the impact on revenue? So reporting is extremely important. And then finally, choosing the best of breed technology. So I showed you some options of some leading platforms, just a while back. So choosing the right tool and technology for your marketing automation is probably another big factor that will contribute to your success. When we look at roadmap, when you move to marketing automation, you basically move from an optimistic spray and pray kind of model to a predicting marketing wizard, right? So if you were to look at the maturity of how marketers in a lot of industries, how they used marketing automation, what they did before marketing automation, how they started using automation, and then how they matured, you would see something like what you're seeing right now on your screens. So moving away from a spray and pray model to getting to a point where you're using automation more effectively, doing better segmentation, planning, and execution of campaigns, to using effective lead management, scoring, nurture, integration with other systems like CRMs, etc., or business intelligence or enterprise analytics. Finally, a position where you really use the platform like a wizard would, where you have a predictive model, in terms of demand generation, and you really use the platform for a variety of things and not just emails or standalone activity. You're using the platform for pretty much everything related to digital marketing. That's when you really become a wizard. So, in terms of maturity, it's important to create this roadmap upfront so that you have a target to move to and work towards. Now, to create a roadmap, you need to have an understanding of where you are currently, where you would like to be in the next 1, 2, or 3 years, and what are the milestones that you're going to meet in terms of your roadmap. A typical roadmap can look something like this, where you choose a platform, there's initial planning, installation, you have to look at your current state, you have to decide your future state, you have to decide milestones, and then you have to tweak the right kind of technology, right? So your existing technologies like your CRM, probably your lead management system, your web forms, and a variety of other things, landing pages, etc. Then it comes to campaign management, how you're able to create, execute, and measure campaigns. Then it comes to lead management, all the leads that you generate, how do you manage them? And finally, it talks about marketing measurement, where you get to a position where you have a predictive model and you're able to analyze and report on everything in terms of progress and impact on revenue. The other important thing is understanding the buyer. And this is, something which we keep repeating to our customers and anybody who needs our help. We keep talking about the importance of understanding who's your ideal customer. What's the profile, of the ideal customer? What are the criteria that you would look at in terms of selecting your ideal customer? And the customer today has changed. They are more informed. Their journey is dynamic and cross-channel. They may flip from search to social to display to mobile. You cannot predict, how they are moving across the buying life cycle. So they may discover you via a mobile device, but they may like a video that they see on YouTube before they come to you, right? So the buyer is very dynamic today, and we need to be cognizant to that. The other is that the buyers have little attention. They're getting so much of content on so many devices that it's becoming a challenge for them to remember and differentiate your message from your competitors, or for anybody for that matter. So this attention span has really been, a big problem with marketers, because unless you really have something different to say, the buyers typically tend to forget you. Understanding the buying process is of course fundamental in every marketing initiative. This needs to be done. It's no different when you want to use an automation platform. If you don't, map out the buying process before you start using the platform, then chances are that you'll fail very soon and your investment will not be realized. Now the user journey has changed. Like, we keep saying things have changed, customers changed. In the days past, let's say in Digital 101, people would come to your website via, multiple channels. They would read about, some content that they might be interested in, and, after reading, they might leave, or they might sign up with you, right? If they leave, it's the end of the journey. If they sign up with you, they may get irrelevant content or emails from you, which they're really not interested in. And this is what was happening widespread, across industries, across all marketing functions, just, very recently. But now things have changed. In the past 2 years, we've seen significant changes in terms of the user journey. Now, today, if users are coming to you via a mobile device, via tablet, via desktop, they may read content, they may, like that content, but then you have the capability to now retarget them wherever they go, whether it's through email or through display ads. If they come to you, you can retarget them and keep chasing them with relevant messaging till, you offer them something, right? Or if they subscribe to you, or if they sign up with you, right? Then you can invite them to an event, a webinar, a road show, depending on whether it's B2C, B2B, but you stay engaged with them. You keep nurturing them. You use drip marketing to keep sending them relevant content till they are at a point where they become a sales-ready lead, or you can go back to, the entire cycle all over again, retarget, subscribe, send relevant content, etc., and keep repeating the loop till your buyer is at a point where they are ready to buy from you. And even if they are not, they don't mind getting relevant content from you, and they can be a potential buyer from you at any point. So technology plays a seriously important role in this entire process, and marketing automation plays a huge role, right from the time somebody comes to you, or you go out to somebody, till the time they become a customer. Marketing automation is a huge role to play across this entire life cycle. Now, the demand funnel, as we see, it needs to be supported by technology. In today's day and age, digital without the right kind of technology cannot be accomplished. So the role of marketing automation, and what you see here is basically the buying cycle, right? The buying cycle is on your left, where you have various stages, and then what are the channels that are used is what you see in the center. There could be a variety of channels, but once you have created this demand, whether it's using search, social, display, video, webinars, whatever you want to do, events, you generate leads. Now those leads come to you via your website, through mobile devices, through tablets, or through social media. But what happens to them after they come to you? After they come to you, they need to go into certain systems, certain databases for you to be effectively using those leads. Now those systems are analytics, CRM, marketing automation, primarily. And only when you use marketing automation will you be able to capture this entire lead flow and use it more effectively by scoring them, nurturing them, making them sales ready so that they go into becoming a customer and becoming onboarded as a customer in CRM. So the role of automation again is really critical in driving your leads from being raw leads to becoming customers. Content strategy plays a huge role because ultimately automation can only deliver your messages for you, but if you don't have good content, then chances are that you will not succeed. So inbound marketing has a big role to play in today's day and age because it's more about pulling people to you rather than pushing your message out. So pulling people to you means you have to generate good content and really publish it smartly, effectively, and promote it on multiple channels seamlessly over a period of time. And content without context is a waste of time because if people are coming to you and showing interest in something, then you have to record that behavior so that the next time you go out to the same people, you have that context heady with you. If you don't do that, then people will lose interest and go away from you. So, content creation and distribution is, goes hand in hand with marketing automation. So you can use your platform for distribution, but before you start using your platform, you should look at auditing your current content, seeing what you have or you don't have, finding the gaps in your content, and figuring out what should be your strategy in terms of content. What content do you need to create? How long will it take? How will you source that content? Whether you need in-house people or whether you need external experts. And then, how do you want to take your brand messaging out via that content? Then planning to get that executed, creating all that content, doing the QA, getting reviews done, and having it ready for distribution. So it's an entire life cycle. And if you don't sort out your content life cycle, in parallel with your automation planning, then again, like I said earlier, the chances of failure are more than success. Developing a content strategy is very important. If you want to have higher number of inbound leads that you can convert to customers using automation, then you need to have a very, very specific approach towards creating good quality content. And to tell you the truth, in terms of acquisition, if content is not playing a big part in your acquisition plans, then you'll probably see some initial success, but after a point that success will plateau down, and you'll find it hard to generate good quality leads. I talked about lead management architecture and why it assumes a completely different role when you're using or planning to use a marketing automation system. Lead management architecture in marketing automation terms is far more complex than normally it is. So it starts with getting lead into the system, to what is the pre-qualification score, to what is your qualification process, to what is your scoring process, to potentially nurturing process. So, and what you see right at the bottom on the right side is your CRM and your marketing automation platform. These are the two primary systems that really have a big role to play in terms of managing your leads from the time they come in till the time they become a customer for you. Again, there's more examples of how automation uses scoring and nurturing to keep communication with customers in a relevant, personalized, and timely manner. And it reduces a lot of cost because you're basically going to be using digital for most of your communication via your automation platform. So therefore, it reduces a lot of offline costs in terms of campaigns, newsletters, communication, etc. And all these expenses can be gotten rid of by using a platform, a marketing automation platform. Nurturing, like I talked about the buying zone, where these are the leads that really go to your brokers, right, or your sales teams, and using a scoring system helps you do that very effectively. Finally, it's about best-of-breed technology. So tools can solve a lot of your problems, but often, more often than not, it's core marketing principles allied to the tools that can really work for you. So you can have the best tools in the market, but if you don't have a holistic view of the customer, if you don't really understand, how you want to run your marketing, how do you want to create your content, and if you don't integrate your systems like CRM, analytics, and potentially marketing automation together, then you really will not see as much success as you should be seeing. Again, it's all about aligning your messages with where the customer is in their buying cycle. So therefore, we talk about the importance of an ecosystem, whether it's CRM, analytics, marketing automation. We didn't talk about content management in today's session, but that's an important piece as well. So each of these contributes to having consistent message and experience. So you cannot have different systems working in silos. You need to integrate them together to drive maximum value out of them. So you need to integrate these tools, have a common customer profile, and behavior data. Because revenue is truly and only driven by an integrated system. Only marketing automation, only analytics, or only your CRM alone will not be able to drive or improve upon your marketing efficiency. The importance of mapping your messages is again paramount. It's all part of your success plan in terms of marketing. How you want to use automation effectively is what we're talking about. Mapping your messages to your customer's journey is probably one of the most important things. Finally, creating a calendar of activities. If you plan to use automation, you cannot do ad hoc stuff. You can do ad hoc stuff, but if you want to use the platform effectively, you should have a calendar. And you should have very clearly marked programs on how you want to use automation. Because otherwise, it becomes more of a manual process, like you're already doing or you're used to doing. So you will not really be able to use the platform effectively. And finally, reporting. We talked about the importance of analytics. Starting with very basic reporting on what is happening, how your leads are coming, how they're reacting to you. Two more advanced stages where we talk about analysis and why did it happen? Why did somebody come to you? To monitoring what is happening right now with that prospect or customer, to prediction as to what that customer prospect might do in the future, to simulation, where you can actually predict somebody's behavior, your audience's behavior, and create messaging around that, and distribute messaging around that. So analytics, like with every other thing, has a roadmap, has a maturity curve, and the earlier you get started with good analytics in combination with your marketing automation, the more are your chances for success. So you can start with simple stuff like email performance, website visitors, and tracking your inquiries. But you need to go into something which is much more sophisticated to have more success. This is an example of how you can empower your sales team or your agents or your brokers by giving them this kind of a dashboard where they see a prospect or an account, they see buying signals, they see a lead score, and they see most recent activity. So your agent or broker has complete and utter visibility into what is the hottest prospect he has and what he should focus on, rather than focusing on all kinds of prospects which may not yield into becoming customers. And I'll take the next 1 minute to talk about compliance, which is an important factor for insurers and financial services marketers. You need to create a governance model. You can't just bombard customers with multiple messages. You need to figure out how often can you communicate with customers or prospects. what does data security look like, and how can you achieve that using automation? What kind of security and permissions do you need to execute campaigns? And what is the approval process to launch any outbound campaign? So you need to have all of these in a model that you need to follow. And there should be ongoing audits to ensure that the model is being adhered to. In this way, you can at least ensure that you can eliminate risks, because not all marketing automation platforms can provide compliance coverage. Some do, the ones that we referred to a while back, like Oracle and Adobe and Marketo and ExactTarget. They do provide very sound compliance governance models for automation, but it's important to have in mind this factor when you're choosing a platform. And finally, it's about the value. So, we talked about moving a lot of things to digital using an automation platform, how it can cut costs. There's a lot of benefit, and why a marketing automation platform might be a good fit for you is you can reduce time to market, you can improve ROI up to a factor of 10 from what you're doing right now. You can automate programs such as events, emails, webinars, videos, almost 100% using this kind of a platform. Low operations cost, low acquisition cost, and this is an important statistic for any marketer because it helps in improving ROI. You'll have the ability to run like a marketing machine using this kind of a platform. So any number of campaigns, whether you're doing 100 campaigns a year or 10,000 campaigns a year, is irrelevant. The platform can do it for you if you have everything in place. You can have personalization. You can reach your customers where they want you to reach, whether it's mobile or tablet or social, wherever they are. You can be relevant all through the buying cycle, and you can be persistent through scoring and nurture. And you can keep trying, different messages. You can do A/B testing, multivariate testing. You can try out a variety of things and figure out what's working, what's not. There's a combination of analytics thrown in. So it's not necessary that all your programs will be successful. You can always make changes very, very quickly, which would have taken you months to do in a manual mode. You can do and affect those changes in a matter of days if you're using the automation platform. And finally, the bottom line is you can improve acquisition quality. We talked about lead quality a while back. That, as far as I am concerned, probably the biggest factor and biggest value of an automation platform for any marketer. So that brings me to an end of the session. I know that we have very little time left, but in whatever few minutes that we have left, I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much for insight there, Abhiraj. It looks we have a few questions. So the first one is, which marketing automation platform do you recommend for insurance and financial services industry?
Yeah, there are a variety of tools and platforms that are very good for these industries. We showed you a few examples which are rated very highly by analysts and by the worldwide community. But if you were to ask some preferences, we would suggest platforms like Oracle Eloqua or Salesforce ExactTarget, more so because a lot of insurance and financial services customers already use the Oracle suite and the Salesforce products. So it is a natural extension if you were to buy their marketing automation suites.
Yeah, we do have a few more questions, but since we are running out of time, but we'll make sure we'll get back to them after the webinar. Thank you all for joining us and learning how marketing automation can power customer acquisition for insurance and financial services marketers. The recording for today's webinar will be available on our website within the next 3 business days. We'll also be sharing the webcast URL with all the attendees via email. Please feel free to reach out to us at contact@edynamic.net for any questions you may have. Thank you. Thank you all once again.